Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Thursday, December 1st, 2022. Welcome to day 681. The U.S. Supreme Court agreed to an expedited review of the Biden administration's plan to cancel student loan debt, announcing that it will hear full oral arguments in February. A final ruling is expected by June. In the meantime, the court said the plan, which would cancel up to $20,000 in federal student loan debt for more than 40 million Americans, remains blocked. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals issued that injunction in November in response to a legal challenge by 6 Republican-led states, claiming that the program was an unlawful exercise of presidential authority and that it would affect state revenues and tax receipts. Meanwhile, the Senate passed legislation that would force a labor agreement between freight railroad companies and their workers in an attempt to block a potential national railroad strike on December 9th. In a separate vote, the Senate, as expected, rejected a proposal to add 7 days of paid sick leave to the deal. Under the tentative agreement, which several unions rejected because it doesn't include paid leave time, rail workers would receive a roughly 24% pay increase by 2024, along with some additional schedule flexibility and a single paid personal day. The legislation now heads to Biden's desk for his signature. It marks the first time since the 1990s that Congress has used its power to regulate interstate commerce and intervene in a national rail labor dispute. Moving on, the latest projections from the Bureau of Reclamation show that by July, water levels at Lake Powell, the nation's second largest reservoir, could fall to the point that the dam no longer has enough water to generate hydroelectricity for 4.5 million people. Lake Powell is currently a quarter of its original size, and its water levels have fallen 170 feet amid the warming climate and historic drought. If water levels drop another 38 feet, the surface would approach the tops of 8 underwater openings, allowing the water from the Colorado River to pass through to the Glen Canyon Dam. This is known as minimum power pool status, and in addition to being unable to produce power, the dam would have limited ability to pass water downstream to the cities and farms of Arizona, Nevada, and California. The Glen Canyon Dam already generates roughly 40% less power than it originally did, and the Colorado River is the region's most important waterway, serving roughly 1 in 10 Americans. The deputy power manager at the Glen Canyon Dam called the situation, quote, a complete doomsday scenario, end quote. Moving on, the House Ways and Means Committee received 6 years of Donald Trump's tax returns from the Treasury. The committee first asked for Trump's returns 3 years ago, but the Treasury Department refused to comply with the request while Trump was in office. Trump then filed a lawsuit to block the release of the records. The committee declined to say whether they would release any of the returns publicly. Meanwhile, a federal appeals court halted the special master review of thousands of documents seized from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The decision allows the DOJ to continue its investigation into the mishandling of classified government documents. And finally, Kevin McCarthy demanded that the January 6th committee chairman preserve all records and transcripts from the investigation into the attack on the Capitol. McCarthy also vowed that Republicans would hold their own hearings into, quote, why the Capitol complex was not secure, end quote, on the day that a pro-Trump mob stormed the Capitol seeking to stop the certification of Biden's electoral win. Seeking to stop the certification of Joe Biden's electoral win. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.